Please welcome Bridget O'Neill.
So it was 1982. I'm going to show my age. It was 1982. I was in 6th grade, and I had talked my mother into having her take me to see the movie Porky's. I convinced her that it was about a pig farm, an animal farm, and so she said, okay. So, I was really excited about this because all of the older, I was freshly new in junior high school, and I felt really inadequate, and all these older kids were talking about this movie Porky's, and they were using all these slang words and and I was like, what's that? So I wanted to catch up, so they kept talking about this movie Porky's, and they had older brothers and sisters that would take them, but the oldest people I knew were my parents, so that's who I asked. And this was also, this movie is so monumental to me because it's the epitome of a coming of age movie. It's very B grade. It's there's not much of I mean, the writing's pretty bad, and but I thought it'd be okay because I pictured okay, well this is, to me this was and I hope I have my facts straight, but this was before Fast Times at Ridgemont High, before Stacy was practicing on a banana how to give a head. It was also before Last American Virgin, when that huge fat guy is fucking some old, I don't know, older woman. It was before a lot of things. It was very progressive. So anyway, so at this time also, I have to explain that in my English class, which I adored, and it's the only thing I did well at, was we had to keep these journals, and we would write in them during the week, and then on Monday we would stand up and tell the class what we did over the weekend. So I loved it, and not much has changed since then. I still love doing that. Okay, so just let me, I need to lead up to this movie because I felt in a way, I felt I was a little bit prepared for it because I saw Friday the 13th, and I understood that teens having sex got bludgeoned to death by this super pervo in the woods. And then the virgin usually got away, until the end. So there was that, so I had that kind of I was kind of almost there. But the year before, in 5th grade, I read all the Judy Blume books, Lover and Are You There, God, and all of those. I was like, God, she understands me. I loved Judy Blume, and then one day she blew my fucking mind. A book called Forever. Awesome. Yes. Okay, good. All right. So this book Forever is a novel, and this girl Michelle in 5th grade was very developed, and she seemed more mature than most of us underdeveloped girls. She had the book, and it was dog-eared at page 81. And at that point, we had our nurse brought us in, and she told us about the birds and the bees. And so there was that, but this was different. This book was okay. So you read it, and don't quote me, but anyway, something to do oh, he entered me, and he was really hard, and I was really wet, and I was like, oh snaps! I know something that no one else in class knows. To have sex, the dude has to be hard, and the girl has to be wet. So I don't know if she splashes water on herself. I don't know, but I know things. And so what we would do is, this page was just kind of really weathered, and we would pass it to the girl at the desk next to us, behind us, and we had this very kind of quiet bond, we know more than y'all, we know how it works. So there's Porky. So what happened was we all piled into my dad's green station wagon, and so it's kind of if you could picture the Griswolds going to Wally World. we were going to a drive-in theater in Pennsylvania, and so we get there, and we pull up, just to make it skeevier. I mean, there's parents, and there's a 12-year-old and 11-year-old, and we're going to a drive-in to see Porky's, just to up the skeevy factor on that one. And my dad has a black-haired, comb over. So I'm sure the attendant was like, what the fuck? So we go in, and boom, movie starts. Within the first 10 minutes of you know, major TNA. My dad is like howling with laughter. Whoa! So am I. And my mom turns around, she's like, Jesus Christ, Joe, turn the car around, we're going. And she turns around and looks at me, she's like, Bridget Ann O'Neill, you're in trouble. And she throws like this plaid flannel, orange and red, yellow blanket like over us to like me and my brother to veil our innocence. And I'm cracking up, I'm like, I really thought it was about pigs. So the one scene where the character Pee-wee puts his Pee-wee in a glory hole. So I learned about glory holes, but like I was kind of like very like rapidly also like just torn out of the car, went to the concession stand a lot that night, and and then another part that I remember seeing was like when Pee-wee goes and he calls the restaurant and he asks the waiter, yeah, I'm looking for my friend Mike. His last name is Hunt. And I guess it's probably like now like one of the oldest jokes in the book. But anyway, so the waitress is like, yeah, Mike Hunt. Has anyone seen Mike Hunt? Anyone? Mike Hunt? Has anyone seen Mike Hunt? And all of a sudden someone in the restaurant says like, yeah, everyone in Florida. And everyone starts laughing. That was like way over my head. But I was like, note to self, find out who this guy Mike Hunt is and why is he funny. So the evening wrapped up, and that when I went back to school on Monday, I was like all ready to read my journal, and like now like you know people would know I saw Porky's, I know shit. And my mom says, whatever you do. Oh, and P.S. by the way, this was like, I know I sound like a really mean kid to do this to my parents, but my mom is like such a strict Catholic that she'd be very upset by this, first of all. She was pink and it looks like a dildo, so that would upset her. But the other thing is, we were like the only people in the neighborhood that did not have cable. I finally got cable when I was in 12th grade after the fact that I saw everything else at my friend's house, but I didn't have cable for like ever. We were the last ones in the neighborhood to get it, so we just seemed really poor. We couldn't afford it. So anyway, I went into class and I had my journal. My mom said, whatever you do, I forbid you, do not write about this movie that we took you to. I obeyed, I did. And so I went in and I read my journal and I told a white lie, and I said, so this weekend, me and my brother and my parents went to go see E.T. And in my head, I was thinking, and glory holes, and this guy called Mike Hunt. Holla! That's it. Thank you.